Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we talk about all news, comics, and media related to the Transformers. On this episode, the next Void Rivals trade paperback is up for pre-order. We give our initial thoughts on the upcoming Cyberworld YouTube show, and we've got the final update on guests coming to TFcon LA this weekend. Today is Friday, March 7th, 2025, and this is episode 432 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that's going to release our next episode as a set of 36 YouTube shorts. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
We're in the wrong orientation. We need to be, what is it, portrait. But yes, how you doing?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
None of us wore suits. Let's talk Transformers.
As always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for continuing to help us out and support the show. We really appreciate it. Your contributions help us just keep it all going. And we want to welcome our newest Donatron, give them a shout out, Dakota. They joined at the goodie bag level. So Dakota, you should be getting some merchandise in a few months. I think it's like every 3 months. You get a new item for the first year or so. So good stuff coming in your future. But thank you so much for signing up for the Patreon. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And Dakota, of course, you should already know, but just to remind you, you get lots of perks for being a Donatron. That includes some bonus content. All episodes of our Donatron bonus show, We Like Big Bots, and that features Daryl and Dr. Pants talking about the biggest bots in their collection. Those are all available from our Patreon page. We've got our Transformers live play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. And that is currently on a hiatus, but there is a special bonus episodes going on right now. The Hate Plague, a special self-contained adventure featuring the Renegade Studios Transformers RPG system. So Mike is running a special campaign with Magnum from Empire of Rust. That's Matt. And Brandon, from one of the voice actors from Empire Rust, along with, of course, our good friend Dr. Pants. So they're doing a 5-episode series, 4 episodes plus an epilogue, I should say. Episode 3, it was out this week, and then next week will be the final 2 episodes will go up, and then we'll be back to regular Empire of Rust. So you can check that all out at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. And the Hate Plague episodes are also video, so you can check those out on our YouTube channel. So good stuff there. You can also still buy our Transformers #1 exclusive comic. This was cover art by EJ Sue, and this is Skybound Transformers #1. You can pick that up at transmissionspodcast.com/comic. And you can still use our Toy Hacks code for 15% off everything at toyhacks.com. The code for the month of March is a new code for the month of March is playback. So use that code playback for all your purchases at toyhacks.com, and you will get automatic 15% off all your purchases. Cannot be combined with any other promo codes, but you can use it with your Robo points. And before we get into the rest of the show, of course, I want to remind everyone that Jeremy was a guest on a new podcast. So Jeremy, tell us all about it.
Yes, it's a show called The Monitor Tapes. I'm getting the page up now. It's all about the DC's Crisis on Infinite Earths from 1985. And I was on episode 2, and I was talking all about the Flash. Flash plays a major part in the Crisis, and he's one of my favorite characters in DC. So I was happy to come on and talk about it, since Daryl doesn't let me talk about DC stuff on the show because there's been no Transformers crossover with DC. But I did get a Transformers related question in this podcast that kind of I wasn't expecting, and it was a lot of fun. So thanks to Dave and Doug for having me on. I'm happy to come on whenever they want me to talk more about DC stuff. So it's a fun. It's not going issue by issue. It's going more in depth, kind of character based, and it just it was great to go and meet some new people and talk about another thing that I love, which is the DC.
All right. Yeah, definitely everyone take a listen to that. I listened to it, really enjoyed it. And I'm not the hugest DC expert or fan, so I still enjoyed the podcast. It was encouraging me to go check out Crisis on Infinite Earths. So very cool. All right, let's get into the show, and we will talk about some comics news. All right, well, Amazon has a pre-order up for Void Rivals. This is the volume 4 trade paperback for Void Rivals, collecting issues 19 through 24 of the series. So those issues are not out yet. They are coming out later in this year. So by December, when this item is supposed to be released, I think all 6 issues should be out, unless there are some other delays. Robert Kirkman, stop delaying the book. But yeah, the trade paperback collects this 4th story arc. We don't know anything about it because we haven't read it yet because it's not out yet. But if you can look at the blurb and there's some slight spoilers there, so I won't go into that. But if you're interested, you can check that out on Amazon or linked on TFW 2005. So that's all the comics news for this week. We are awaiting the next issue of Transformers or Void Rivals or G.I. Joe that should be hopefully coming next week. All right, let's move on to some media news.
All right, and in media news today, we're going to talk about toys because in this world, toys is media. So at Toy Fair, they revealed the new Cyberworld toy line, and this is Cyberworld is a YouTube short series, and it's going to be 36 episodes of 5 minutes long, and it's getting its own toy line. So what we're going to look at here is the toys because we don't have the episodes yet. And yeah, so what do we got on the screen there? We got a Grimlock. And the Grimlock, I mean, these are the most childish Transformers toys that we've had in a while. So if you get a chance to look at the show notes, take a look at the link, and you'll take you to a little video that's Jeremy's playing here. I'm sure that we'll get in trouble for playing the entire video.
That was just an ad for the toys. So.
Oh, okay. But we got a Scorponok, and the Scorponok is it's the best way to describe it is it's the prototype Scorponok colors. So if you are someone who's well versed in prototype pictures that are used on some ads, I believe it was a UK ad that had a prototype of the G1 Scorponok in some wild and crazy colors before the color scheme that was originally used came out. Well, this is that color scheme, and yeah. So that if you're wondering why the hell Scorponok's purple and orange and lime green, that's why. So anyway, it's a fun color scheme. Kids are gonna love it. So yeah, take a look and see what you think. There's a bunch of other characters that you can see. There's I mentioned Grimlock. There's a Megatron in here. Well, sorry, it's the Mega Horn or whatever the hell he's called. The horny Megatron.
Well, there's also a G2 Megatron.
Yeah,
G2 colored
right.
Megatron.
Yes, it's it's like a truck or something, right? So,
yeah, we'll get to those down below. This is just showing off the play set of
Yeah.
Scorponok.
Yeah. Yeah, so Scorponok's a big playset. We got the Grimlock with the Optimus Prime that can ride him. And obviously Grimlock's a very popular character as well. What was that? Go back to that. So in some kind of mechanized Grimlock mode, Optimus Prime can sit inside Grimlock's, looks like his mouth, but it looks like probably his chest kind of folds open. But it looks like Grimlock's mouth, honestly. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, that's kind of funny.
It looks kind of like you can make Grimlock have an upside down submarine mode.
Good.
Like, with the way his legs are and stuff, and the guns in his tail, you could probably make him look like a gun.
Yeah.
I'm sure they don't want you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, this is the Grimlock is another one of these playset characters where you can put any little Cyberworld character in that cockpit and be like Grimlock is the mech suit for them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a kid, you're just gonna play with it the way you want to play with it, right? You got a Bumblebee. That is the next one here. Kind of looks like Galvatron colors, but I know it's not a Galvatron.
No, it is Galvatron.
Is it?
Galvatron with a beast mode.
Okay. Crazy. All right then. This thing here looks like it's an Autobot jet.
Blur.
This is Blur.
Yeah, this is jet.
All right.
Yeah, look at the head.
Then. I mean, kind of looks like Mirage's head, but whatever.
Oh, is it Mirage? It could be Mirage.
We don't have all the information here.
Usually the file names down at the bottom has the character.
Yeah. And then Horny Megatron.
He's a bull.
Is this a separate character from Megatron, or is this Megatron like
they described it as Megatron, I believe.
So why are there two Megatrons? Why is there full Megatron and G2 truck Megatron?
We got an Optimus, a Junkion that turns into a dinosaur.
This is the best one of all of them.
Right.
This is a Skybite with wheels, which is a reference to a single episode of RID 2001 where there was a race and they all they were all kind of entering the race, so he had to have wheels on them. So it is the best one of all these.
I'm glad you know the reference because I didn't get it. And there's Tank or Megatron. He's
a chunky boy.
He is a big lad. Yeah, he's a big lad.
That's all the pictures.
Yeah, this is the most childish line we've had in a while. But I'll give it to them. They are transforming figures that can interact with each other, and yeah, they are Transformers for children, right? So they are a step up from the Rescue Bot line, where they were all kind of like automorphing technology. The kids will have to actually move parts around by hand with these, but these are not far away from those.
It is basically a core class level transforming.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what happened to the core class.
Yeah. Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
So I guess, any speculation about what the show will be? I mean, we've got it looks like we've got some kind of blend of beast characters and vehicles, and then we're on like a jungle planet or something. And then
Charles, I am not hoping for I'm not expecting a lot here. These shows are 5 minutes long. There's 36 of them. The toy line is aimed at like 6-year-olds. I am not expecting, a lot out of this.
Yeah,
I mean,
it does say that they're
I
going to be CG episodes, but still,
Right.
it's
yeah,
just to sell the toy line.
I hear you on that, but we say all that, but Cyberverse started off like I mean, I saw Cyberverse at least was on Cartoon Network, but it started off it was 11-minute episodes, and we weren't expecting a lot out of it, and it turned into like a 3 or 4 season show that got in really deep into lore and did lots of interesting things. I mean, I'm not expecting Cyberworld to do that to do the same thing, but I was surprised at the depth that we got out of Cyberverse starting that from that 11-minute episode starting point where it was supposed to be just Bumblebee having amnesia and Windblade helping him, and that was the pitch for Cyberverse, and then
The
we
toy
got it
line was way
expanded.
better.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that. I mean, it's a seems like I mean, I guess this is the result of Hasbro kind of not pouring a lot of money into you know an entertainment property where they're trying to just focus on marketing the toys. So I don't
Mhm.
know. I mean, let's see what the kids think about it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the kids are going to be into this. I mean, seems like kids are just generally not into toys at all anymore. At least, once they get access to a screen. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh well. Any final thoughts on Cyberworld?
I'm getting the Skybite. It's such a deep cut that they can't even show the episodes anywhere because they don't. Who knows who has the right?
You've got the episodes stashed away
Well,
somewhere.
I
You can
have
enjoy
the
them
UK
wherever you want.
DVDs up there.
Yes, that's what I was
So
talking about.
yeah, but I mean they're on YouTube. I'm sure they're just like, okay, yeah, we're just not going to do
Yeah.
anything to the people that put it on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it. Yeah, the rights issue. I mean, it's Transformers. Hasbro does own.
It
I
was
don't
done by
know.
Fox Kids, which was bought by Saban, or done in conjunction with Saban, which was bought by Disney, which was spun out again, and who knows where the rights are.
Mm.
But whoever
All
owns it probably doesn't even realize that they own
right.
Mhm.
Yep. All right. Well, Skybite having Skybite come back. It's it's hopeful that maybe Hasbro hasn't forgotten him.
Yeah,
That's good.
I mean, we've had a few Skybike toys recently, so
That's
I'm
true.
all for more. We need to have more RID 2001 love.
Hmm. All right. Well, I guess that's all the media news. Let's move on to convention news.
All right, well, TFcon LA starts today. Um, we have some more voice actor or some more announcements for guests, and then the schedule came out, so we'll go over a few things on that. So the first is Charlie Schlatter. He is the voice of Vertebrake in the 2015 Robots in the Sky show. He's going to be appearing Sunday only. Alexander Polinsky, who is the voice of Headmaster in Transformers Animated, is also going to be Sunday only. DC Douglas, the voice of Chase in Rescue Bots, is going to be there on Sunday.
You're
And
not switching the screens.
oh, I am not. Sorry. Uh, I'm changing the tabs, just not sharing the tab. Yeah, so there's Alexander Polinsky, Headmaster, and then DC Douglas Chase. He's going to be there Sunday. And then this is a big name that I haven't seen at a TFcon, at least in a long time. Jim Cummings, the voice of Afterburner and Ripper Snapper in G1, Clampdown, and Thermidor in Robots in Disguise 2015, plus various roles in Rescue Bots. And he's also the voice of Winnie the Pooh. So
It's a huge get.
it's a big, big get. And
Yeah.
He's going to be there. Looks like both days. So that's awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would put Jim Cummings on the level of Frank Welker. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he
definitely.
is a huge talent in the world of voice acting.
Yeah. I mean,
Like-
if you ever follow him on social media, he'll put out videos of himself like doing the different voices. I think he's also done Tigger at times.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Darkwing Duck.
Yeah.
He's legendary voice actor. So yeah, if you've watched cartoons ever, you've heard
You've
Jim
heard-
Cummings at some point. So yeah, the fact that he like comes back to Transformers just to do like Thermidor, like a couple, like the a ridiculous, Blue Lobster character, like I actually have that figure. I, and I took it to a con that he was at, and I could not get close because he's so popular.
Yeah.
I could get an autograph from him at a TFcon. Like, I'm now pissed that I'm not going to this show. Like, why
you chose to go to LA last year?
I know. Like, fuck. I'm so mad about this now. Like,
yeah.
He's like one of my like on my hierarchy of my what?
Your Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, like I really want to meet him and get an autograph from him. Yeah, so like a bucket list type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we've got a few more. Sumali Montano, the voice of RC in Transformers Prime, is going to be there. I think when we were talking about some of the Transformer Prime ones, I was surprised that she wasn't on the list. So glad that she's going to be there. Stuart Allen, the voice of Russell in Robots in Disguise 2015, is going to be there on Sunday. Neil Ross, I mean, another big get, but he comes to TFcons all the time, but he's done so many things. But there's Bone Crusher, Hook, Six Shot, Slag, Point Blank, and Springer in G1. Also, Dusty and Shipwreck in G.I. Joe, and Keith and Pidge in Voltron. So, and is he the one that has the Smurf jacket, or that's someone else? Who was it that did the Smurfs? I think it was someone else.
Is that Michael Bell?
Yeah, I think that's Michael Bell.
Yeah, Michael Bell.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Donald F. Glutt, writer for G1. So, did many things in addition to G1, G.I. Joe, Masters of the Universe, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, DuckTales, The Mighty Orbots, and he wrote the novelization of Empire Strikes Back. So, lots of stuff he's done. And then we have the schedule here for TFcon.
There was one. There's one more.
One more.
It just popped up.
Oh, a late edition. I got that. Sorry, Marty Eisenberg, writer on Transformers Animated, Transformers Prime, Beast Machines, and Rescue Bots. And I was going to get to this because of the schedule, but he's going to be involved in a panel called Transformers Animated: Deleted Scenes and Characters Part 2. And then also on the schedule, go ahead and jump to that. There is also going to be a Sunday. There was a the Toymaker and the Bots, a tribute to Derek Wyatt with Alexander Polinsky and David Kay, hosted by Ian Carlisle. And I would be surprised if people like Marty Eisenberg didn't show up for that, because everyone that worked on Animated loved Derek, and I'm sure that anyone associated with Animated that is going to be around for that. But they have a number of other really cool panels. There is going to be History of the GoBots, hosted by friend of the show, Jim Sorensen. I'm sure that's going to be hilarious. But knowing Jim, also very informative. There's going to be Transformers 1 Q&A with Evan Michael Lee, Isaac Singleton Jr., Jason I'm sorry. Nope. Yes. I'm sorry. And John Bailey. We got G1 voice actor Q&A with Charlie Adler, Greg Berger, Jim Cummings, and Michael Caine. That will be a hilarious panel. Transformers Prime voice actor Q&A with David Sobolov, Anya Gennady, Sumali Montano, James Horan, and Darren Norris. There's going to be that a deleted scenes one I talked about right after the third party panel. And then on Sunday, we got the Earthspark voice panel with Benny Latham and Z Infante. Rescue Bot voice actor panel with DC Douglas and Jeff Bennett. And then Vangelis is doing a panel about fandom history reflecting on the news of 2004. And I think that would be very interesting. That was the year of my first BotCon. So I think that's MPO1 came out that year. Right around then. So
yeah,
lots of stuff happened in the fandom that year. There's the robots.
Yeah, that was the 20th anniversary of Transformers.
Yeah.
So
we've been around a long time.
Yeah, we're old. There's RID 2005 voice actor panel Q&A with Andre Sogliozio, Arif Kinchin, Charlie Shatler, and Stuart Allen. And then I think, then there's the Aaron Archer Transformers designer panel, and then Frank Welker and TBA. So, I mean, I think originally that was supposed to be Peter Cullen, but he dropped out like early on. So who knows? I mean, it could be Jim Cummings doing that. I mean, that would be a great panel. Seeing them play off each other. But it looks like it's just going to be a packed show. So I am also like one day I want to get to this. I love going to LA, and I would love to go to TFcon LA. 2 of my 3 BotCons I went to were in LA.
All right. Yeah. Fun show. Daryl and I went last year. Fortunately can't get out to LA every year. So hope everyone has fun out there, but I'm sure it'll be a great show. All right, let's finish up the show with some feedback. All right, so on YouTube for Alt Mode 430, so this is a couple episodes ago. This was our review of G.I. Joe number 4, was it? or number 3? I think it was number 3. But we had a comment from Stuart Tyler, and this is our regular commenter on YouTube. And he gives a time code. It was 25 minutes in. I think I was talking about the absurdity of Zaymot and Tomax having a truck with a missile launcher right in the middle of DC. So Stuart's responding to that, to my complaining about that. He says, "Why, Charles? Do you remember what already happened in DC in real life? Some of the police actually waved some of the insurrectionists on by giving directions to some of them instead of arresting them. It was terrifying. Made me sick to my stomach. Apologies for the pseudo-political rant. I get what you guys are saying, but it's a comic book. That being said, your points are valid to a degree. The time jumps really are a problem. When did this or that happen? It's getting confusing, and it does take you out of the story. As for more Transformers in a G.I. Joe book, I look at it this way. It's a double-edged sword. Focus too much on Transformers in a Joe book. Why call it a G.I. Joe book at all? and it would alienate the Joe fans the same way not enough of them have alienated some of you guys. Daryl. Finding that balance or sweet spot isn't as easy as it would seem to be. I'm just as guilty myself. Destro is probably my favorite character, but his book sucked overall because it was just so disjointed. Just not good. The G.I. Joe book isn't a bad book, and it has severe problems, but I do like these characters, and I want to see where this goes, at least until the end of the upcoming crossover. So, fingers crossed emojis. So, I mean, Stuart, I mostly agree with you. I will say that at least in the G.I. Joe universe, we don't have Cobra Commander as president yet. So having Cobra trucks in DC and blowing stuff up still seems like it should be difficult for that to happen, for them to do that. But, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm mostly worried about the timeline stuff, so that we can get a sense of when and where things are happening, because currently the Pacific Northwest is on fire in the Energon universe, but no one in G.I. Joe seems to notice that. So I hope that means they're going to mention that at some point in their storyline. But
there has to be some time point mentioned at some point.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get that soon. But I mean, I can see how they're currently, their story arc is currently focused on Dr. Venom and the brainwave scanner and all that stuff. So they've got to focus on that until they resolve that problem. They've got big problems there that the G.I. Joe team needs to figure out before they can worry about the larger Energon universe. So, but thanks for writing in, and we'll keep reviewing the books, much to Daryl's chagrin. So we'll keep finding out what's happening.
I can guarantee that I will keep complaining about
And that's what makes it fun.
Yep. Okay, well, that's all the feedback for this week. So we will wrap up the show. As always, we give a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrons. These are the folks who continue to support the podcast at our highest level on Patreon. So that's why they deserve a mention in every episode. So thank you once again to John Forex Levengood and Steve C. Really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for continuing to be awesome. And thanks everyone else out there for watching and listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.